So, welcome everybody to the latest episode in Let's Talk Energy, which myself and my amazing friend Jo Dall,
Hello.
we try to do, I say try, to do bite-size podcasts, no more than 15 to 20 minutes, because, trying to fit it all in, it's all those big parts, isn't it? And we've got this beautiful season 2. And we're on episode 4, and we can't believe where the year's already going. So quick, so quick. So with these podcasts, they are to gently explore energy. We hope to impart some of our knowledge, which between us is over 50 years of knowledge in this field. And we also want to give you little tools that you can use to help yourself, because this is all about empowerment of self. And that's what we really wanted to share with everybody. And to start them, we are working with affirmation and an affirmation. So Jo will be in a moment giving you an affirmation that you will be doing, and I will be sharing an affirmation. Now, you can do them on the same day, you can do one or you can do the other. It's entirely up to you. So get your pen and paper ready. It will be in the email below. Please do not worry about that. So the one that I was thinking of is, why is letting go of the past so easy? So why is letting go of the past so easy? And ideally, you would repeat that 11 times in a row, once a day, for 21 days if possible, because it can take quite a while for the body to get into the process. But with an affirmation, putting the why in there gets the subconscious looking for answers. So Jo, your affirmation.
So I thought this affirmation was very fitting for the time of year, and it's I gently clear what no longer serves me, making space for my life force to flow freely. I gently clear what no longer serves me, making space for my life force to flow freely. Now with affirmations, again, they're in the here and now. You can either say them within your head or you can speak them out loud. It is in the repetition, so 10, 11 times per time you repeat it. I would say maybe do it once or twice a day for at least 7 days. So that is the affirmation for now. So today we are going to explore with you what spring is about as it moves into summer. It's about an awakening within. It's about an embodiment of all that is. And I think that we call this a seasonal handover. It's that time of year where we are handing over from one season to the next season. And in doing so, it's how can we do that easily? And what we felt was really important at this time of year was that we gently explore cleansing. Now, this doesn't mean a deep, harsh detox where the body goes into complete shock and trauma because we've just delved so deeply into detoxing. But it's about a gentle cleansing and releasing to allow anything that's congested or suppressed or unexpressed to be released so that we can then fully embody the summer months. And so cleansing brings us back into our natural rhythm. It brings us back into our natural flow. It allows us then to absorb the beautiful energy of the summer months. So, Amanda, if we were to talk about food types and drink moving into a gentle cleanse, what advice could you offer our listeners?
I mean, I'm not a big person around foods and everything like that. It's probably more of Jo's expertise than myself. But for me, it's about eating lighter types of food. It's also one of the things that we don't do anymore that we always used to is to eat within the season. So you eat the things that are grown in your environment or the country that you're living in. without sort of like greenhouses and things like that. But it's about being in the time with the season that you are living in. But what happens very often is that we tend to keep eating the same thing throughout the year because we really like it. But that cannot give our body that chance to reset. And so, yeah, going with lighter foods, the salads, maybe it's a bit early for some people for salads, but those types of things, no cottage pies or stews and things like that, even if it's a cold day. So that's really where I would go from. But what about you, Jo? Because as I say, you work a lot more in this field than I do.
I really like what you said about eating the foods that are in season and the foods that are in the country in which you are in, but also try and have local foods because, again, our energy resonates to the frequency of the earth where we are living. And so to have foods that are grown as locally as possible is also really beneficial. I think when you're looking to cleanse, it's maybe considering taking out tea and coffee or alcohol, anything where you are going to stimulate or overstimulate the body, and maybe also consider taking out dairy for a short period of time, just again to lighten the digestive load. You can look at herbal teas. I mean, we've got just out at the moment, we're starting to awaken the herbs. So, you can have rosemary, you can have peppermint from the garden. Any of those things steeped in boiling water make beautiful teas, and they're really helpful for the digestive system. And you could even pick some, please be careful and wash them when you do this, some dandelion leaves. Again, really good for the digestive system. And, we call them weeds. They're not weeds, they're very special plants. And they do really help and support our bodies within. I think those are the main things relating to food that I would say to consider at the moment. Um, Regarding our bodies, what would you suggest?
So with the body itself is like body brushing. You don't necessarily have to go and get a brush. You can actually just use your hands, because the thing is, what we're trying to do as well is do things where you don't have to spend any money. We're like showing you that, you can do the body brushing, and that actually helps to get the whole of the lymphatic system moving and shifting, and like walking, going out for walks more. And sometimes that's not easy, sometimes depending on the environment of where you are, but maybe having like a rebounder or, like a little trampoline, and you just sort of like bouncing on it. Again, it's all those things that help the body start to detox. And I know you like cold showers. I do not.
Yeah, cold showers are amazing to help to stimulate the lymphatic system. But another good tip would be if you can get a skipping rope. You don't need a lot of space, they don't cost very much money, but actually skipping not only is good for coordination and balance, but also very good for really getting the lymphatic system to work very thoroughly and effectively. And, you can do that provided you've got enough space, you can do that anywhere. So, skipping is a really good one that anybody could have a go at. And the more you do it, I'm supposed to be, the better you get at it. So they say. I'm still practicing. Um, we also talk about the mind because we mustn't forget the mind when we cleanse. It's about being aware of the patterns and the behaviours that no longer serve us, those things that keep us in a loop. And it's about consciously bringing those into our awareness and choosing, big word I know, to let them begin to soften and to go. Now, that's not always easy, but there are things that can help you to do that on your own. So you can write things down on a piece of paper, and you can then set fire to them, but make sure you do it outside in a safe space. You can pretend to put them in a hot air balloon and send them away, and then just allow the air balloon to drift into the ether. I know that you've got a really good tip for anything that's not serving us with your container, if you want to explain about that.
Yeah, it's my big golden recycling container. So we've all got recycling bins. Well, most of us have. So I just have mine like as beautiful gold. And as all my thoughts, my worries, my feelings, whatever it is, things that are ruminating around and around in our minds, sometimes I even put myself into this dumpster. But within it, I have like a grid of light so that as it goes in there, it just starts to transform into lighter, brighter energy. And you can then start to get like new inspiration, new ideas. And yes, it takes a little bit of practice, but it then becomes so instant. And I have one in my field when I'm working, just to make sure that, well, I'm working with other people. I'm not taking on board and keeping in my own room.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Or another tip would be just to go outside at this time of year. And just if you have a repetitive thought or a feeling, just ask for it to be sent out into the heavens and the stars or the sky towards the sun or the moon. Just ask for it to be taken into the heavens and for it to soften and go. I think that those things, when you do your cleanse physically, when you look at that, it often brings up some things that you need to address emotionally. So when we talk about cleansing at this time of year, it is a natural process that the mind and the body are so interlinked, and it will benefit you on all levels to cleanse and release at this time of year. So we've got something we would like to offer to our listeners today, haven't we, Amanda?
Yes, so Jo is putting together a cleansing ritual PDF because this is, as I say, her real speciality. And she's putting that together so that it helps to support everyone through the seasonal transition. And we're always going through transition. So it isn't just for this time of the year, but Jo is amazing and she makes them specific to the times that we're going through. So that's why it's always good to check back as well for other episodes, because you'll see what maybe you do for the autumn season change and then the winter one. So it's, but yeah, so way to get hold of that is just use the email address below and then it will be sent to you. And we just hope that you will take one or two things. You don't have to do the whole list because that can feel overwhelming, can't it, Jo?
Yeah.
It's literally, it's about, oh yeah, I remember that. Gosh, I heard that years ago. But, you know, we don't always do something. So that's the other reason for the PDF that Jo is doing there. And then we wanted to really then move on into talking a little bit about vibrational energy and vibrational medicine, because everything is energy. That's what this podcast is about, isn't it? It's everything is energy, every cell, every organ, every emotion, every thought, every action. And it is energy in motion. That is what emotion is, isn't it, really? And the thing is that we can have so many emotions. We can be affected by the vibrations of how people speak, the sound of someone's voice. You know, some people's voice, you think, oh, I could listen to that forever. And others, it's like, and it just depends on the energy vibration for the individual. And that can be really, really important. And that's also important then about what music and noises we have going on around us. You know, whether we have something gentle, sometimes we want a bit of rock on. Of course we do. But we don't want rock on all the time, like when you're trying to relax and go to sleep. So it's about the different aspects and the vibrations and how they help to heal us at that cellular level. Jo, what have you got to share on this amazing topic?
So I think, you've touched on a lot of it. The energy of our being is so important, but it's also in our doing that is important. And we've touched on this before, and I'm sure we'll touch on it again. We kind of, as we explore energy, you as the listener will become more aware of what really feels right and doesn't feel right, what nourishes you and what depletes you, what makes you feel energized and what makes you feel drained. And that's what we're trying to get you to really home in on within yourself. Because when our energy vibration is in rhythm and flows beautifully, then that is when we are in balance and the body can self-regulate and repair itself and it can heal. But when our own energy vibration is out of kilter, then this can affect us emotionally and physically, as we always say, and it can cause dis-ease. Now, I don't mean disease, I mean dis-ease. And we know when we are out of balance because things don't flow as easily as they might do. Things within us don't feel right. We might feel not quite well in ourselves. We might not feel happy. I mean, an example of that would be, it could be a beautiful sunny summer's day and everybody's cheerful around you, but somewhere inside of you, you feel heavy-hearted or sad or tired. And that is a real example of when your energy vibration is not aligned with how it should be. And so what we can offer is some examples of how you can recalibrate your energy vibration. What would you suggest for energy medicine to help the vibrational energy within the body?
So, I mean, you do have homeopathy. Obviously, if you don't know anything about homeopathy, don't go and self-diagnose. But there are some amazing books and information out there for simple things. That if you're feeling very sad and very low, where there's certain vibrational homeopathy that would help with that. Obviously, we've also got the tools that we use. And also, other free gifts that we've already given away with these talks. You can go back and you can sort of like have a look, see what they are, because maybe something in there will help you shift forward that little bit more. What would you suggest?
So definitely homeopathy. And I think, we both know an amazing homeopath, and he has got something called Ask Marcus on his website, Marcus Fernandez. And so you can always go on there and explain what symptoms you've got, and there is the advice that can come from that. Yes, there's crystals, there's sound, there's aromatherapy. There's so many things that have got vibrational medicine, and also practitioners and therapists like ourselves. And I think if you are interested in vibrational medicine, there's two books that I know we both know really well, and they are Energy Medicine by Donna Eden. That is a really beautiful book and has some self-help tips and tools in there. And then if you want to delve a little bit deeper into vibrational medicine, then there is Vibrational Medicine, the book title by Richard Gerber. And both of those are truly amazing and will help you to explore energy medicine, vibrational energy medicine, even more than we have done in our bite-sized podcast today. So yes, so today we have covered for you briefly the transition between spring into summer and how a cleanse can really help you to move through the seasons. And we have explained a little bit about vibrational energy and vibrational medicine, as well as offering you a free thank you of a PDF with a cleanse ritual for you. So next time, what are we going to be talking about?
So next time, well, I almost touched on it a little bit earlier, where we're going into the summer solstice. So I'm hoping that Jo's going to be doing an amazing meditation because she's done one before for the different solstices and I absolutely love them. But obviously we haven't spoken about that one. And then it's also about the importance of resourcing one's energy at that time of the year. So, yeah. So until next time, it's goodbye from me.
It's goodbye from me.